Good evening and welcome to our usual Wednesday night study here at New Covenant House. We have now begun a new series about how we develop a vision for what we are about here at this New Covenant House. And in the first episode, we talked little bit about our interpretation or radically new interpretation of the Bible, so that we may have a different Christianity than a lot of other people do. And we also talked a little bit about what monasticism is in ancient time and what it is what we see it to be in the future. And last time I spoke a little bit about myself, where I came from and how I got to where I am today and why we're here. And now I think we'll need to go into the actual vision for New Covenant House. I would really like it to be a discussion rather than a monologue from me, so that it should mostly be based on questions from you, my audience. But you're not here tonight, so I will just pick up a thread and take it from there and hope that this is what you are looking to learn from this session. So others have started figuring out what an intentional community like this should look like before. And in ancient times, it was Benedict, who is often mentioned as the person who kind of invented monasticism. It's not really true, but he was one of the very more important guys in that era. And in modern times, these guys, there you go, the fellows down at the Rupa House, with some other people, have tried to figure out what it could look like today. That doesn't necessarily mean that this must look like that. We can absolutely do our own and decide what it means to us, and we definitely intend to do that. I have some inspiration from this book, which is like a corporate guide for how to create a vision. It's a little bit helpful, but not the end all. So what it had taught me is that there's something that you need to do before you can start talking about the details. You need to have like an overall plan that all the little day-to-day tasks will fit into. And the reason why you're going to do this is, number one, is for you, yourself as a community, and it is also for other people. For you, there are three things it'll do. It'll establish where you're going, what you are there for, and it also helps you stay on track. Once you've embarked on your journey, you will not get sidetracked. And if you get sidetracked anyway, then it kind of provides a way to get back to where you were. And for other people, it kind of gives a way to show them who we are and what we are about. According to this book, a vision casting comes in 5 steps, and I'll just quickly tell you what they are. Let's see. 5 steps. It starts with clarifying values, and it looks at the scanning the current situation, figuring out where you are right now, and then define the mission and create a vision and implement the vision. So I kind of think that that's kind of like backwards a little bit, because we have before us, we have the vision already laid out in the Bible. We have Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, in which he talks about the kingdom of God, what it's going to be like there. So that is our vision for where we're going, and Jesus also gives us the mission. He says that we have to love God and we have to love one another, and he gives us some values to kind of be the foundation for how to go about doing that. And that's in the Beatitudes. We have, in a previous study, in the Plan B by Dave Andrews, a long time ago now, gone through these Beatitudes, and they are the foundation for what we live on. Those are like very, very high level items. They don't really tell us what to do in a day-to-day life. So I think we start with the vision, and which is the kingdom of God. We want to kind of create that here on earth. Now, our vision for a kingdom of God is probably dramatically different from some other Christians who will say that kingdom of God is, some place other than here where you are in the company of God. Your life is not the way you see it today. It's I don't know. It's really hard to describe what they think, but we think, and I think definitely, that the kingdom of God is here on earth. We have just collectively together messed it up so badly that it's really unrecognizable, and it's rather than being the kingdom God has visioned for us, it is more like hell on earth. For some people, it's literally hell. It's terrible. And that's not God's fault. That's our fault. We have mired ourselves in power struggles and greed, so that there will always be suffering here on earth. And that's not what we want. And then, in terms of mission, number one, we are to love God. When Jesus talks about commandments, he doesn't mean commandments. He doesn't whip us over the head with something to make us do it. It's always something we do voluntarily, because when we all do it voluntarily together, then we will achieve our goals of implementing the kingdom of God here on earth. And we also have perhaps a different view of who God is than some other Christians have. For some other Christians, God is a being somewhere outside of creation, outside of the world, the universe. But for us, it's it's more like a collective of ourselves. You know, there was a teacher that I listened to some time ago, and he was describing who God was, and you could hear the disdain in his voice when he said that some other people, meaning us, regard God as simply big us. But I think that's pretty close to what God really is. It's a big us. And we have in the Bible thousands of years of wisdom collected that we can draw on today. And then the other part is we are to love one another. And again, I think we have a radically different interpretation of what that means than a lot of other Christians do. It is not having good feelings for other people. It's taking care of them. And it's not just in as reciprocity, where I give something to you and you give something of equal values back to me. No, it's radically different. It's giving of ourselves without expectation of anything in return. So those are kind of like some things that we do. Those are the things that we do to create this kingdom of heaven here on earth. And the way we do it is following the teachings in the Sermon on the Mount and in the Beatitudes. So this is kind of our beacon, the one thing that really guides us for our life here at New Covenant House. And those things are not going to change ever. When we get to talking about the day-to-day workings, the day-to-day rules, we're going to create rules. There's no doubt about that. They may not be perfect, but we can change them. The things that we have just talked about here, they're never going to change for us. If they do change, it's because we have achieved the kingdom of God. It's because we have finally finished. We're done. The work is done. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, for sure. But yeah. That's pretty much, in the absence of any questions from you, the audience, that's pretty much all I have for tonight. And I hope you will join us again on next Wednesday, and we will dig into the vision for New Covenant House in more detail.